Hello, hello everyone, it's me, Arden Lee. I am back today with another video, and today's video is here to tell you to stop believing that you get the treatment you deserve, because it's not true. I had a question in the Repatterning Parlor today, which is the group that I moderate on Facebook, from someone who asked how to hack the narrative that of believing that if you were just prettier, smarter, better, worthier, more valuable somehow, that people would treat you better. And I'm here to tell you just that it doesn't work. I'm going to explain this. I'm going to unpack this and make some more concrete suggestions in this video. Otherwise, this video would be very short. But really, the basis of this issue is making sure that we can stop functioning under a certain algorithm once we understand that the algorithm doesn't work, that we can stop continuing a pattern or a behavior once we understand that it's no longer serving us. So that's the real underlying issue here. So I'm going to unpack a little bit around that, and I'm also going to give some hacks for the algorithm to switch to, since the universe hates a vacuum. So if you're replacing a pattern or a behavior or a habit, it's necessary to switch to a new one instead of just saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. And you create this empty space. It's so easy to go back into your old patterns when you're not replacing it with something new. So we'll talk about that. And I want to talk a little bit about a self-love hack that is important for understanding and really anchoring that feeling of worthiness of love. So we'll get to all that in this video. First, of course, as always, if you've not yet done so already, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit that button. And also, if you're viewing this on Facebook, if you would like my page, you can stay tuned for more and more updates. So also, if you're not familiar with me and my work, my name is Arden Lee, and I'm the creator of the Repatterning Project. And the Repatterning Project is an 8-week course where we hack our beliefs and we pull out and examine all of our patterns that have imprinted on us throughout our lives, from early trauma, the way we were raised, social conditioning, bullying, formative relationships, everything that adds up, the sum of our experiences that adds up to shape who we have become today. We start to look at that, bring conscious awareness to those decisions that we're making, and figure out what's serving us, what's not serving us, what we want to replace with a conscious new habit, new pattern, so that we can optimize our human systems on the way to the achievement of our goals, our happiness, our success, our fulfillment. We can break free of all the things that we've been doing forever and start making new choices so that we can get new results. So if that sounds like your jam, go ahead and check out the description box where I have a link to a free PDF guide to the Repatterning Project so you can learn about what it is that we do. I also have a link to the group I mentioned, which is the Repatterning Parlor, which is the free group that I moderate on Facebook, full of like-minded individuals all coming together to hack their pathways toward their happiness and success. So of course, as you know, having a fulfilling social circle around you when you're on a path up toward personal development, surrounding yourself with people who share the same beliefs that you yourself want to assimilate and practice, is key to your transformation. So we would love to welcome you and support you on your journey. Come join, click through, say hi. We'd love to welcome you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the fact that believing that you deserve the treatment that you get from people is a fallacy. People destroy beautiful things all the time. There is evidence of that throughout history. You could be a beautiful, genius, priceless painting hanging on a museum wall, and someone, if there's not security, is going to come along and steal it or deface it just because they can. When you look around at the world and you see how much destruction happens, you don't think to yourself, well, that statue deserved to be defaced. Maybe with certain Confederate statues coming down in the last year and a half, maybe those do. But typically, you don't look at, a beautiful building that has graffiti on the side of it and think, well, that building deserved that. No. Someone chose that. Someone chose to do that. You don't look at a Bentley that someone put a bumper sticker on and say, well, that Bentley wasn't as good as the other ones. You just don't, right? This is not factual. This is not logical information. And yet, when we are young and our beliefs around our worthiness is forming, when our beliefs around our worthiness are forming, it is so much easier and more comforting to us to believe that we can control the way that people treat us. When we're young, we don't have the option of choosing the people that we surround ourselves with. Until we're 16, we can't even leave. We can't even drive, right? Maybe when we're 12, we can take a bike somewhere, but we still depend on our parents. We can't choose where we live. Even a court system isn't going to allow us to choose where we live, typically. We can't choose, to a strong degree, what school we go to unless our parents listen to us. We can't choose the people who are in our class. We can't choose our parents. We can't choose our relatives. We can't choose the neighbors' kids who are across the street, who are our only option to play with as we're growing up. So, if those people don't treat us well, what do we think? We think to ourselves, well, it's not possible for us to get new parents or new friends or new classmates. So, we change ourselves. We think, if I can adapt, if somehow I'm better or more popular, if I'm like that girl who's the head of the cheerleading squad, then nobody will touch me, right? And we form this belief and we don't examine it. We grow up to be adults and we're still thinking, hey, all these assholes that I'm constantly surrounded by are going to start treating me better if I'm better somehow. Trust me, I did this pattern for a long time, so you can just take my word for it. It resulted in a lot of overachievement, but it was overachievement that was for the approval of other people. I was wasting a lot of my resources on things that made me look impressive, when really I could have been reinvesting my resources to set up systems that would help sustain me. I could have invested in, instead of buying expensive shoes that I thought were going to make people, jealous of me or want to be me or whatever. I could have, set myself up with a 401k to take care of my future. I wasn't sure at that point in my life that I was even going to live that long, so it didn't seem to have much point, right? So now I'm at the point of turning everything around. So, realizing that this doesn't work, what do we replace it with? All right, we replace it with, if our old algorithm is, if I am good to people, if I am better, smarter, prettier, worthier, whatever, if I add more value somehow, then people will treat me better. That's the one we're leaving, right? So the new algorithm that we want to replace that with is, if people treat me well, then I allow them to be a part of my life. And we become more discerning. And we start to realize that there are people out there who are generally kind, empathic, who desire healthy, positive friendships, who want to live their lives in a spirit of positivity, who are not attracted to drama or bullying, where that just doesn't feel right to them. And we start to realize that those are the people that we want to surround ourselves with. So we get to a point where we say, all right, look, you must be this tall to ride. If you're coming at me and you're not treating me well right off the bat, there is no amount of pretty or smart or worthy that is going to change the way that you treat me. And also, you don't deserve my prettiness, my intelligence, my worthiness, if you can't treat me well while I'm just the way that I am. It's a great motivator for people who, who want to somehow become what they think of as prettier, smarter, or worthier. We can keep doing that pattern until we're blue in the face and we can accomplish a lot. But At the end of the day, we're actually so much more in our vibration of our worthiness when we're not proving it, right? I feel more physically attractive, I feel more intelligent, and I feel more worthy than I ever did in my life when I was looking for people's approval. Because, of course, the idea that I have to become something greater than what I am now reinforces the idea that I'm unworthy as I am, right? So what we don't realize is we actually live by the magic of these beliefs. If we're like, I'm trying hard to be worthy, I'm trying hard to be worthy, I'm trying, look at me trying so hard to be worthy. What does that say? You're actually saying to the universe, to yourself, unconsciously to everyone out there, that you're not worthy as you are. And the universe comes back at you and says, yes, you're right, as it always does. So the only way to change that is to change internally. And what that means is starting to create a habit where you say, I know I'm enough as I am. I've been working this worthiness shit for so long that I've reached the law of diminishing returns. I got to that place a few years ago. I was like, I don't think I can be much. I don't think there's much more I can do. Clearly, I'm doing the wrong thing. So I changed everything. And I said, you must be this tall to ride. If you're going to be in my life, I need you to treat me well. That means, oh wow, I have to have standards. I have to have boundaries. I have to have needs. And I need to get clear on what those are so that I can communicate to people my reasonable expectations of how it's going to go down if they're going to be close to me. And then I just hold to them. And everyone sorts themselves out. The people who align with me, with the ways that I hold myself to being treated, continue to show up. And the people who aren't in alignment with that just fall away. And it happens that way. The last thing I'll talk about in regards to this is a self-love hack that I think is really important. I should probably do a longer video on this at some point, but if you're constantly getting empirical data from your experiences that you're not enough, that you have to do more, it doesn't allow you to be in the vibration of self-love. Being in the vibration of self-love means being able to look at yourself from the viewpoint of someone who is falling in love with you. If you haven't yet set an intention to fall in love with yourself, this is one of the most transformative things you can possibly do. But what it requires is stepping outside of yourself and seeing yourself in your light. One of the hacks of self-love is getting around the human conundrum of the fact that whenever we see ourselves, we're either looking in a mirror or we're looking typically at a photo in which we've smiled for the camera. But really, the moments in which we fall in love with people are the moments when we see them in their essence, in their flow state, in their vulnerability. Think of the last time that you fell in love with someone. And what were they doing when you realized you were attracted to them? They probably weren't trying all that hard. They were probably just existing in the moment. And the problem that we as humans have is that we can't see ourselves in those times. Sometimes it's helpful if we see video of ourselves, maybe, for me, I'm a musician. I have a band called Arden and the Wolves, if you're not already familiar with it. Watching footage of myself playing back, that sometimes helps me with my self-love. Especially if I'm a little stoned while I do it, not gonna lie. I live in California, cannabis is legal. And that helps me to achieve an altered state of consciousness where I can look at myself and really appreciate myself. Like, wow, getting that distance there. I don't normally see that. So it takes some reframing of the ways that we view ourselves So if you can sit in a meditation and start to imagine that you are in the experience of a person who is falling in love with you, and you are watching yourself across the room and thinking, wow, look at them, they're incredible. That's going to start to help you get there. That's the place that you want to go eventually. And then you're going to realize, oh my God, I don't have to do anything at all. I just have to do what makes me happy. Because when I'm in flow, when I'm loving my life, when I'm just in my essence, is actually when I attract that kind of love the most. And that actually, ironically, means not trying so hard to be worthy or to be better. So I hope this was helpful, and take my word for it. Believing that you deserve the treatment that you get is a fallacy. It is up to you to discern the kind of treatment you want and enforce those boundaries as such. Thank you guys. I will see you in the next video.